with the Greg. Let's start that over. Hey everybody, it's Motivational Monday with the Greg. How you doing today? I'm doing fantastic, just fantastic. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I hope last weekend you got out in nature and enjoyed a little bit of nature. I was thinking about it later. I was sitting around a campfire, and I was looking at that fire, and I know that also helps lower your cortisol levels. It helps you calm your vagus nervous system down. Something about just looking down at that fire. It's very powerful. So that was what I was talking about. It was about grounding. It's about getting in touch with nature. It's about woosahing. Be still. Be still. You know, and that's very important that we learn how to do that sometimes. A lot of people can't sit still very long. They immediately get bored and they look at their phone. They start to have anxiety, they're bored. They look at their phone immediately. They can't just put it aside. You know, we don't have a healthy relationship with it. It's important that we do. I work on mine every day. I hope you are too. Because if you want to talk about making your life a little bit less easier and being a little bit more motivated, you know, passionate, how about adding some passion in your life? You know, I know a lot of people could set themselves on fire and wouldn't even draw a crowd. Are you one of those people? You need to start putting some passion in it. But nature, yeah, if you get in touch with nature, you woosah, you get a little private time, a little quiet time. Contemplation time. I can't stress that enough. Contemplate your life. Dream. You know, I think people stop dreaming by the age of 25. They say, you know, they're dead by the age of 25, but they just don't get buried until they're 75 or 85 because they stop dreaming. When we were kids, it was amazing. I love hanging around with kids because it helps me to see from that perspective how they look at things. And I think it's very important. I say it all the time. People look, but they don't see. People hear, but they don't listen. You know, I think one of the things about meditating, I do a lot of meditating, it helps me to listen. You know, helps me to hear. But that's the power of the present again. That's the power of the present. Are you present? When you're in nature, you're present. You know, you can't be present sitting in a box. Watching a box. Think about that. Eating something out of a box. Leaving that box. Driving to a box cubicle. Having a boxed lunch. Going back to your cubicle. Go home to your boxed house. Why are houses square? Why are houses square? You know? Why are they built the way they are? Everybody's just, it's like a cookie cutter thing. You know? Go back to your boxed house and turn on the box. I mean, come on, really? Is that what we're doing here? Because I remember this is called Monday, Motivational Monday. Motivational Monday. We're supposed to be jacked. I mean, come on. What's your relationship like with your TV? Do you drive the same way to work every day? You know? Could you drive the same way to work every day? That's being lulled to sleep. You know how you lull a baby to sleep? You know? That's what you do every day. Going the same way. I said earlier one time how you look at a gas, when the first time you look at the pumping your gas when you're 16 years old and you're pumping gas, how you're checking everything out and you're watching everything. Now you just do it without even thinking. Your mind's somewhere else. My friend almost hit a lady in the parking lot because she wasn't paying attention to the lady in the parking lot. And I talked to the lady, and she told me why she wasn't paying attention. Her and her ex, after 36 years, are getting back together. I thought this is funnier than heck, and she was buying a pack of cigarettes, and she ain't smoked in years. She said he's bringing all of his stuff in. And here's one for you ladies. Jesus, Pete, your workload increases 85% when you're married. 85%. You know? You'd be taking care of his lazy ass. Make it better. I think that's what she was coming from. You know, his house, he's bringing all his stuff over and it's cluttering her house up. And she said, I could eat off my kitchen floor. But yeah, there's things we have to deal with like that though too. We have to not let every little thing bother us. You know, every little thing bother us. You know, there's time to be upset. There's righteous anger. There's righteous anger. But don't let every little thing bother you. You know? Are you addicted to anger? Are you addicted to worry? Are you addicted to fear? These are emotions we're all addicted to because there's a chemical released in the back of our brain. Every time we have those experiences and we get addicted to those chemicals. So it's really not the drugs that we say we're addicted to. That's the problem. It's that drug. You get rid of that drug and you probably wouldn't do all the other ones. Even though I'm a big advocate for plant medicine. I love plant medicine. I do a lot of it myself. And I think that there's a lot of cures out there, for especially things like PTSD and anxiety and stuff. If you lost a child, I know a person that lost a child, they're microdosing and it's helping them out. I think that it really does. It helps rewire your brain. Because your brain is not hardwired. It's not hardwired. It's soft. You can change it. All you have to do is think differently than the way you've been thinking, and that changes it. And I think that a lot of problem it goes back to 65,000 thoughts yesterday, and you're having the same 65,000 thoughts today. Really? No, I don't think that works. I think we're addicted to routine, bad routines. Again, like the phone, TV. Yeah. When I got rid of my phone, man, my life changed. Everything changed when I got rid of TV. When I got rid of my TV. Now, I do have a small TV now, but I hardly ever use it. I like watching sports, but I like listening to baseball. I think it's very interesting to listen to a game more so than watch TV. But I like watching a good old football game, college or pro. I like them. And but watch that you're not betting on that kind of stuff, because when I talk about emotions and being happy one minute and depressed the next, that's it right there. You put some money on a big game and you lose it, and it's all entertainment. So you really got to be. I don't know. You're gambling on entertainment. I don't think that's very good. A little bit, maybe, just for shits and giggles. Maybe $10 or $15. You can put like $10 on a parlay or something like that. That's great. But when you get into gambling more than that, no. You're not going anywhere. You really rather have, you like to really feel, a lot of people, they get the feeling of a loser, and that's all they do. I always say, if you're going to go to the casino, only go if you feel like you're going to win money. And feared money, it don't work. Remember, money is like a woman's ears. It hears everything you're saying. So you talking good about it? Are you circulating it? Are you spending it? Are you happy that you're paying your bills? I was just happy to go to the grocery store and buy everything to make pesto sauce, bow tie noodles, lamb meatballs. I'm going to throw it down. And I think people need to throw it down. I think people need to understand that all of life, everything you're doing is an art. Everything you're doing is an art in life. The way you drive, the way you make tea, the way you fold your clothes, everything. The way you kiss, it's all an art. Are you being an artist? Are you aware how much of an artist you are in your own reality, in your own space? How many things you can change just by the way you look at them. Perspective is reality. Change the way you think. Get yourself woosad, get relaxed, get in nature, do some meditating, breathing. There's another one. Box breathing helps lower your cortisol levels. You're a heck of a lot more calm. And who doesn't want to be calm? 2 tense. Everybody's 2 tense today. And the world is living in a lot of fear. You want to be the opposite. When everybody's going this way, I guarantee I'm going that way. I don't know. I don't follow. Remember, the shepherd might protect you, but he also eats you too. Remember, that's the shepherd right there. But no, I just food for thought today. I'm just giving you, I want to just be one-on-one with you, more relaxed and one-on-one, to understand that, every day isn't great. We do have things that don't work for us at times. But that shouldn't be the norm. The norm is you should be winning every day. And that comes with an attitude, the way you think, the way you feel. And I don't know about you, but I'm feeling good about feeling good. I am feeling good about feeling good. And I want you to do that all week long. I want you to take a look at things that, if there may be a mood or an attitude that constantly nips you in the ass, whether it be anger or fear or worry or anxiety, take a look at those things, because a lot of it stemmed from the way we're thinking, feeling about things. I think feeling, big advocate for visualizing and meditating with my mind. Athletes do it all the time. I believe that. But I think putting feeling behind something is important too, and the proper feeling. So I want you to put the proper feeling towards this week that, good things are happening for me. Be optimistic. Watch what you're thinking about. Be kind to your fellow neighbor. Kindness wins overall, man. Kindness wins everything. And just try to be a great person. Because your own personal excellence, that's all we have against all the bullshit in the world. Turn your head away from it. I don't watch any news. I couldn't tell you what's going on. Turn your head away. Rome is going to do what Rome wants to do. Get yourself feeling good about yourself. I really did. I really think everybody should give up watching the news. Period. I think it's just messing us all up, man. It's their agenda. They know how to program you. Like I said, the Super Bowl, $8 million because they want your attention. They want to program you with something. They know how it works. Do you know how this works? Do you know how that works? Because that's where you win. Right here, the 8 inches between your ears. And I want you to win this week. I want you to overcome. Spend some time in nature. Be kind. Remember the grace you have all day long, man. Bring some home to your loved ones. And have a blessed week. Ciao.